So I just went down a huge rabbit hole that I wish that I didn't. And at the end of this video, you're probably going to be wishing the same. The father of the sexual revolution.
This topic in which we're going to be discussing today is a very sensitive topic. It's a very controversial topic. But this is also a topic in which is going to start my initial argument of why I believe we need school choice. The subject matter is very sensitive. So please, if this triggers you, the topic triggers you, just turn it off. But I do think that parents, mothers, fathers, intended parents that want children needs to hear this conversation. Let's roll the intro.
Emancipated Studios presents Come and Have a Seat at the Table with Uncle Stu.
So many times in our discourse, and I'm kind of focused on the political discourses, but this is very imperative to many of the conversations and topics in which we're going to be presented with here on this platform. Courtney Michelle, who you heard in the first part of this introduction, is not only a YouTuber, a graduate of HBCU, a mother, and a fellow co-YouTuber here whom I've interviewed one-on-one, had personal conversation. She's an awesome woman of God, a mother. And as the date of this recording, I can say she is off the market. But nevertheless, I want to just, thank her for allowing me to use her clips of her video. In her video, which I'll have listed in the description below, she does a very historical breakdown of what we would define as the sexual revolution. And this is not the 60s. We're talking about right now. Within the African American community, a lot of us have studied the history of where a lot of science came from and the horrors that people went through. For example, when we think of women going to OBGYN doctors, a lot of black women don't know the so-called father of OBGYN and the horrors that he committed on African American women. Another experiment we don't talk about, although we understood when the jab came along, why many African Americans didn't want to take the jab as well, because we're very familiar with the syphilis experiment and how that handled and the results of that. Other parts of study is eugenics, which is a conversation in which also Courtney Michelle has tackled, and later on I too will tackle that subject. But this subject, I have to admit, was very unique to me, and the knowledge and the research that she did in this video was definitely eye-opening. What I want to do right now is just play a clip of her video, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to discuss the video, we're going to discuss a topic, and we're going to get to why I call it my initial argument for why we need school choice.
During his time there, he didn't just want to gather information from outside sources. He also wanted his team members to engage in sexual practices with him and with each other, all in the name of research. In 1948 and in 1953, he published 2 books, Sexual Behavior and Human Male, Sexual Behavior and Human Female. These 2 books took the world by storm, and they are also known collectively as the Kinsey Report. In these reports, he was noted by saying that an estimate 10% of the American population of men are homosexual and 8% of women are homosexual. He also stated that 37% of males and 13% of females has had at least some overt homosexual experience to orgasm. You can go online and you can see Gen Zers having fun with this 7-point Kinsey scale that he created back then. And this is a scale to know where you lie, whether you're heterosexual, bisexual, or homosexual. And it's just kind of sickening because I see people are having a good time trying to put themselves on the scale, but not understanding that how he came up with these ideas was through child abuse.
You heard everything that she had to say. Right now, I don't speak as a content creator, someone who just do a whole bunch of research and have my own personal expertise in certain things and just give them to you. I'm not really speaking as Uncle Stu. I'm speaking as Father Stu. Because I am a father, I am a grandfather, I am an uncle. And today we have a fierce debate going on as to who should control the information that our children receive. Should it be the government or should that power lie in the parent? We are now noticing that even in so-called elementary school, they want to implement what's known as sexual education. But as I've recognized that sexual education could actually be sexual indoctrination. And we have a fierce debate as to should the government allow this to take place to indoctrinate our children and be educated from institutions or ideals or thoughts from people who we can definitely say is mentally disturbed, allegedly. Are we going to recognize that some of these thoughts and philosophies that's now being presented, whether it's under his indoctrination and what you'll later find in her video, or the indoctrination of what we now call the woke revolution, that freedom of expression, that freedom that says, I want to be what I want to be. If I want to be a tree, a cat, a dog, a bat, because a lot of us don't know where these ideals come from. These social experiments come from, these ideals and mindsets come from. You barely can talk about it because they'll say you're phobic in this area, or you don't know, or you're not educated enough. In this documentary that she wrote, you'll find out that it was the Rockefellers who funded this man's education and institution. And just recently was it defunded, but the damage is already done. So in this video, I want us to think about the worst war. I know online people's into the gender wars. I know about various wars going on overseas, but this is a war against our children's minds, our children's hearts, our children's souls. You know, I would think when I went to school, and elementary school was decades and decades and decades ago. I hate to sound like the old guy that said, well, back in my day, it was this. But the reality is, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have 24-hour television. And we definitely didn't have all of these super social experiments as we do today, and having the government push it or back it. Now, I'm not saying that in my own personal research that I see the government doing this, but simultaneously, based on the research that Courtney Michelle did, absolutely 100%.
Every single day, I see that his vision is coming to fruition. We don't want to call these sick individuals pedophiles anymore. Of course not. That's derogatory. Now we're calling them MAPS, minor attracted persons, as if to try to normalize it and to remove the stigma of literally harming our children.
Because as you see in the thumbnail, there's a flag. And what they want to do is now normalize allegedly pedophilia. And I'm hoping I can say that on YouTube. They now want to make this idea, normal. It's ironic to me that there was things that it was in the medical psychiatry that was considered abnormal, and now people fought to make it normal. You can't say that this is a mental disease or a mental disorder. It reminds me of that scripture that says people will one day say that what was bad is good and what is good is bad. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a phobia over a lot of things. But if you want to say that I'm phobic over my grandson, a young boy who needs to have the nurturing and the love of both his mother and his father and his grandparents that love him, that only want to see him be the nice child that he wants to grow up to be, give him a healthy mental lifestyle. I don't want to see my grandson indoctrinated because of the sickness or the mentality of others and this freedom. And the idea is, how is that going to help him to read, to do math, to be able to orally communicate with the world so that he can be a productive member of society and a leader? We want to bring confusion to a mind that ain't even fully developed. We want to give him adult choices in childlike ages. I think that I couldn't really fully put this video together because I don't want to indoctrinate you. I want to educate you. I'm going to leave Courtney's video in the description. If you view her video, just leave her a comment to say Uncle Stu sent me. If you want me to do more videos like this that just talks about the real table talk conversations, table talks that I have in my own home, that I have with people way offline, that I have with my sons and my daughters about what they're really going through in life and how to get over. So do me a favor, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, how you feel. If you want me to continue to do more information and give you more information just like this, leave a comment below. Subscribe to this channel for more information just like this. Give a shout out to I am Courtney Michelle for a wonderful video that she did. It wasn't long, and I didn't want to keep cutting up a whole bunch of her video because it would have almost ended up in this video. And she deserves all the credit for doing the research and putting it out there. Once again, hit that like button for the algorithm. This is Uncle Stu. Seat at the table.